Welcome to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the daily talk show with the voice of Penn State football and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
So the day before a Penn State whiteout.
That's why I'm wearing it today and not tomorrow. I'm breaking out the white tomorrow, not touching the bad luck red. Yep, I had to wear the bad luck red at least for a few hours.
Wow.
Get that out of the way. All the bad luck then goes away. The good luck comes in for tomorrow. The good luck comes in for tonight for the little Lions. Then the Nittany Lions.
That game's on the road tonight,
That
right?
game is on the road, yep. Okay. That's Central Dauphin.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Well, there you go. Penn State has one thing to do today, and that is what they refer to as Fast Friday. After that, fine. Yesterday, I think Desmond Howard was here. He was in the building. I see he was working out yesterday. He didn't come out to practice. Pete Thamel was out there, and Stanford Steve was out there. The NBC guy. My guess is all the NBC people will be at practice this afternoon. Remember last year when they did Fast Friday before Ohio State, Nick Saban came out. Look, he's a coach. He wants to be,
Sure.
He wants to be around practice. That's why his perspective to me is on that show is invaluable, because he looks at X's, O's, matchups. The problem that you have in football more than any other sport is frequency. It's not as frequent as a basketball season. It's not as frequent as a hockey season, right? It's not as frequent as a baseball season. It's once a week. So you have, let's take Sunday out of it, okay? You have 5 days to talk about one day.
Mm-hmm.
And then 1 day to play it.
Play it, yeah.
5 days. Lots of talk. Analysis by paralysis. Or paralysis by analysis. Right? It's both, to be honest with you. And, I'm not going to sit here and get into anything I've talked to with anybody, because I always consider our private conversations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do it on trust, absolutely.
Private. But you go to people that will just tell you, because they trust you, tell you straight out what they think about things. And that's what shapes our pregame show. Because Jack and I, we're out there together. Hey, let's because obviously I've talked to James. How many times have I talked to James this week? 1, 2, 3. Like, actually, him and I talked 3 times this week. I didn't talk much with Andy. I talked a little bit with Jim Knowles. And then Jack and I had a long conversation with Terry Smith yesterday. And there'll be a couple other people we'll talk to today. Right? And this is the candid stuff. I mean, it's, and that's under the category of, I tell everybody, if I wanted to do a doozy of a show, I could do a doozy of a show. I also wouldn't be working tomorrow.
I was going to say, you wouldn't be employed either. Yeah. Okay. Wouldn't be employed. You wouldn't be a popular guy with coaches.
I wouldn't be, or administration or anything like that. I don't think so. I think we'll just, file this.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the appropriate time, it'll shape. We have an idea. We have some ideas. It is, it's fun that they finally have a whiteout. And I say this with all due respect.
Sure.
Please, I'm not trying to disrespect Washington,
Right.
Illinois, Minnesota. I'm not.
Iowa. Yep.
Okay? Iowa. No. I'm not trying to disrespect any of them in any way, shape, or form. But I've talked about this in expansion many times, and it comes into play tomorrow. Years ago, when I would talk about expansion, I would talk about markets. You know, Penn State goes into the Big Ten. They bring the Philly, Pittsburgh, and really kind of brought in the New York, D.C., and
sure.
Baltimore
Jersey.
markets as well. I mean, they may have reinforced it with Rutgers and Maryland, but Penn State already brought those
had
in.
it. Yeah.
Right? And by the way, there are a lot of Michigan fans in New Jersey. There are a lot of Ohio State fans in New Jersey. I mean, let's give credit where credit's due. It's not like it's all Penn State fans. There's, you know, they've got. I remember doing a basketball game at Madison Square Garden. That hockey basketball doubleheader. Basketball was first, and it was Michigan against Penn State. It was half Penn State, half Michigan. I was impressed. Right? But back to markets. So I would talk about markets in years past when it came to TV and so forth. I then began to shift my thinking, especially in talking with Guido D'Elia, because he's the one that in the early 2000s convinced me of the importance of branding, which then I then took it a step further. Then it started to convince me of what brands were. Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan are top-level brands. And you can see it in the TV ratings.
Absolutely.
Well, you add in USC, UCLA, and USC's a top brand. UCLA struggling a bit. I mean, good name, but struggling. Okay. They bring in Washington, which is a really good brand, and they brought in Oregon, which is a terrific brand. So now you have two teams tomorrow night that are in that top tier of brands, which means they have national appeal.
Yeah.
They're both
No doubt.
they're both undefeated. Look, Indiana, Illinois last week, they were both undefeated going into the game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, intriguing game. I mean, I talked to Todd Blackledge about it. I think I talked to Todd Wednesday. Yeah, he said, how surprised were you? He goes, I was really surprised.
Not surprised Indiana won, but surprised at what the outcome.
I said, well, because I said to him, Todd, I said, did you ever expect 56 unanswered points?
No.
He goes, no. He says, that's the part that was surprising. Not the fact that Indiana's good, but 56 unanswered points against what I perceive as a good opponent.
I thought so, yeah.
We'll find out. They play USC tomorrow. Illinois does.
USC getting up at 9 a.m. Well, getting up a lot earlier than that, playing at 9 a.m. their time.
Right. Well, exactly. That's exactly right. But that is, but you've got two undefeated teams, and the difference between Indiana and Illinois is that while they are two good brands, Indiana is an excellent basketball brand. Illinois is a really good basketball brand and a decent football brand. Okay? But it's been a long time since Red Grange has run the ball. Okay? Just so you know. It's been a
Dick Butkus isn't playing linebacker there anytime soon.
A long time since Dick Butkus was the center and linebacker.
Yep.
All right? A long time. This is different because now you've got two of the top-tier brands undefeated head-to-head going against each other. I mean, NBC has to be excited about what the possibilities of this game happen to be, especially on the rating side of it. And that's what this expansion is all about. I was talking to some Oregon fans last night. They don't really like you. Brought your name up. Oh, the words.
I make fun of puddles one time. I never hear the end of it.
Well, he's going to be here, buddy boy.
He's going to be here. You better believe it.
In fact, he's out there scouting your neighborhood right now.
He might be.
He's scouting your neighborhood right now. Look, it's Puddles. He's on a motorcycle. All right.
Next time he waves, he ought to use the whole hand at least. But, geez.
He thinks you're number one.
He's not alone.
So, but I was talking to them last night, this group of fans, Jason, Eric, and Scott. They were at the coaches show last night.
Yeah.
Great guys. In fact, one of them was on the show with James. And they said, what do you think about all this expansion stuff? And I said, personally, I love it.
Absolutely.
I said,
yeah, same.
I said, I don't have to coach it. I don't have to play it. I just have to announce
travel
it.
too.
Right. But I don't have to, I just have to announce it.
Right.
So from the announcer's point of view, not the coach's point of view, not the player's point of view, because they're the ones putting in all the hard work. I mean, they put in all the hard work. I just have the privilege of talking about it. From the announcer's point of view, it's great seeing the fact that Penn State's playing Oregon. I think Penn State, I think, is the only one so far that has played all four of them. They played all four of them last year. They were the only one to do that because they played in the championship game against Oregon.
Yeah.
I said, when UCLA and USC came in, it was 16. I like the idea of 16, but I saw Oregon and Washington dangling out there. And I'd said to several people, I said, they got to get them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I said, because they'll be taken by somebody else.
Sure.
I said, they're too good, too big brands. I said, great markets. I mean, everything. And I said, no, you guys have traveled east. And they said, no, we love it out there. They said, the Pac-12. Now, this is there are three fans.
Yeah.
He said, the Pac-12 to all of us out there was dying. That the only ones that were truly committed, they said, were Oregon, Washington, Utah, and USC. That's it. He said the other 8 weren't. He said Oregon State tried. He said, but they're not,
right.
They said they could never get traction against.
No.
He said Washington, he says, the interesting thing about them, you could tell they really respected Washington as fans. And these guys, by the way, are close to Dan. They're close to Dan Lanning.
Yes.
These are donors. I mean, they're close to Dan Lanning. They're close to Dana Altman. They don't like your shirt.
That's okay. Washington's got a strong fan base, a loyal fan base. I think that's a big part of what they bring too. And you look at that, you see at the pro level, obviously the Seahawks are the 12th man. That completely comes down to Washington as well in college football.
Yeah.
Yeah, they respected Don James era and have stuck with them really since.
Don James was a great coach at Washington.
Yeah, sensational coach.
And this is where, look, I got to give Oregon credit because they hit the jackpot with Dan Lanning. They bring in Mario Cristobal, and Mario Cristobal was very much, he's a good coach.
Good coach. Yeah, shown in Miami right now.
He's a good coach. But he was not the outgoing personality. Right, that the fans could relate to. And plus, these guys were telling me that they could tell that he wanted to go back down to Florida.
Sure.
Okay. So they were actually glad when he left. Not that he's a bad guy or anything or a bad coach, but sometimes something's a fit, sometimes it's not. That's what I've been marveled about James here at Penn State. James has been an incredible
understands,
fit.
Yeah, absolutely. Understands
because he tried. And I'll get to that in a second about James. Get to that in a second. They bring in Dan Lanning. Look, Dan Lanning was an assistant coach. He was a coordinator. He hadn't been a head coach. And he has embraced being the head coach and how to do it right out of the gate. Sometimes that's not easy for a coordinator to do, where suddenly instead of overseeing half the football team, you have to oversee the entire football team, including the entire recruiting part of the football team. And he's done a great job. As you know, his wife had been sick. I asked about his wife, and they said, according to what they told me, she's doing well, which is great.
That's great news.
Which is great because, he loves her very much and cares deeply about her. And, they had to fight that battle together while, of course, he's still trying to coach. And Dan Lanning has done a really terrific job. Outstanding. As for James, look, he grew up in southeastern Pennsylvania. He went to East Stroudsburg. But really, he moved all over the country. I mean, he was out of Washington State. He was out in Idaho. He was like, there was Maryland. Then he went to the NFL with Green Bay for a year. Then back to Maryland, Vanderbilt, and then he comes here. Okay. Big time job with, at that hour, some big time problems to take care of. 63 on the scholarship. We all know what the journey was. And Bill O'Brien told me once, he told me 50 times, he says, Jones, he says, hang in with us in 14 and 15. That's what he'd tell me. He says, they said, those are going to be the two toughest years. Well, it turned out, as we know, Bill went to the Houston Texans. Those two toughest years were James inheriting that. Yet,
and on a team that came bowl eligible and went to a bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they didn't. But remember, they didn't know until the third week of the season.
Yeah. Yeah.
They would be
at the Ireland
right before
sure.
just right around the Rutgers game. I think it was the Rutgers.
Yeah, Piscataway, the road game. Yep.
And okay. I mean, you won the bowl game over Boston College with 41 available players. You had 41 available players won the Pinstripe Bowl over Boston College in overtime. All right, so at Penn State, you're stepping in where Joe Paterno was there for 61 years. Joe Paterno threw his heart and soul into the football program. He threw his heart and soul into his family. He threw his heart and soul into Penn State. He threw his heart and soul into the community. He threw his heart and soul into fundraising for this place to make it as big league as possible, not just for the football program, for the university. Right? It wasn't just the 409 wins.
No.
Right? I mean, Joe threw his heart and soul into every part of this. All right. Mm-hmm. And it left an indelible impression on Penn Staters everywhere because they knew he was not just a football coach.
Right. Yeah. And you can't think of, I can't think, at least, I admit I don't know for sure, but I can't think of many places that have a football stadium named after a university president and a library named after a football coach.
Basketball
arena after Bryce Jordan. Yep. And also,
you said the football stadium.
Yep, I did. Yeah, that's
the football stadium's named after a governor.
Yeah, Governor Beaver.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if he raised our taxes.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
But he won a lot of those races at the Spikes games. I know that much.
Yeah, he did very well against Curtin.
Library, basketball arena named after Bryce Jordan, absolutely. Former university president, and library named after football coach.
So you have somebody who won 409 games, more than anybody else in the history of Division I football, won a couple of national championships, had undefeated seasons in 5 different decades. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, really?
Yeah. Stayed loyal to a school for 409 wins, and that's
I should say
absolutely
undefeated in 4 different decades.
Yeah. Yep.
4 different decades. Right? And then in the 5th decade, he won
89. Yep.
Then in the 5th decade, he won 2 conference championships.
Yeah.
Okay. So all this is the backdrop, which means there are a lot of emotions. There's a line of skepticism. There's anger. Not at James. I'm talking about anger about what happened here and what was. I'll state it straight out. Unjustified. Joe did nothing wrong. Okay? Let's just state it right flat out. Literally did nothing wrong. Okay? Believe me, I talked to him. I mean, this is after he was out. There are a couple times he and I had long talks, right? Because I just went over, hey, how you doing, the whole thing. We talked. So I know how he felt about things. So this is the backdrop. in the first couple of years, you're fighting. So James comes in and has to understand, okay, what is the culture here?
Yeah.
What are the emotions here? And, like, for example, I'll give you something simple. The Penn State Quarterback Club. James, it was, and I had nothing to do with this, okay? So I wasn't in these meetings, but it was like, you want me to do what on Wednesday? All right. You go over it, do it. Like, I have to do, and even after starting it, it was like, I got to still go over there on Wednesday? I mean, the only thing I said to him, I said, give it a shot, hang in with it. I said, you'll find that these people are ultra loyal. Okay? I said, just give it a chance. That's all I said to him.
Sure.
That's the only thing I said to him. He says, all right. He said, okay, Steve. Okay. All right. And I'll never forget, after the loss to Michigan in 2016, you had a lot of people swirling around. Now, this guy has had less to work with than everybody else. He's the one that had 63 scholarships.
Right.
He's the one that had 75 scholarships. He's like fighting to get...
When you're supposed to have 80.
Right. He was told when he took the job there's no bowl game for a couple more years. Now, it turned out they got one the first year, which really helped. This is what he's doing. And now he's in his third year. And you have people out there who expected him to grab a magic wand and just magically, you're facing teams in his first 2 years that were allowed to take Penn State players and allowed to go over 85 scholarships.
Yeah.
Because those players didn't count against the 85. Yeah. Like, he went against a couple teams that had 87 scholarships because they had 2 Penn State players on the team, and they were allowed to have 87 Penn State, and he's over there with 63.
And that's before the portal is what it is now.
Right.
Yeah, you still had to sit out. Right. You still had to do a lot of things. You didn't have to.
Right.
If you were taken away from Penn State at that point.
So he had to do that. Right? But now he's in his third. I lost to Michigan. Yeah. They play the Michigan game. Jan Johnson's out there at linebacker. Mm-hmm. He's the fifth string
I remember that.
linebacker.
Yeah.
Because they called Brandon Smith for targeting.
Yeah, got ejected.
And got ejected.
Yeah.
Now he's up to the fifth string linebacker. Yep. Holy mackerel.
Yep.
And he got up in the quarterback club. And he looked at everybody and he said, with everything that's gone on, he said, I just need everybody to pull the rope in the right direction. Or no, not the right. I need everybody to pull the rope in the same direction. I need everybody to pull the rope in the same direction. And he was so emotional. I mean, Jason, he was so emotional when he said it. And then they went out and they beat Minnesota.
Yeah, overtime.
And that was the one where Trace rolls left, and it looks like Trace is going to run, and then he throws it to Irv Charles, and Irv Charles turned around and went, oh. Irv is not really paying attention.
No.
Like, oh. And he goes,
nope. And that was the play that sparked it.
Right? Changed everything, that play.
Yeah.
Then Saquon scored. And then the big run by Trace to set up the field goal by Davis. Tyler Davis kicked the field goal, tied it. Then in overtime, Saquon scored the touchdown. They won. That game changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because then
sure.
They played Ohio State. And and they're down. Yeah. And Gilligan makes a great play to get a safety on a punt. Gets a safety.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't get the safety, it's a touchdown. Penn State doesn't win the game.
Right.
Safety. At the end of the first half, they got a little drive going and Trace threw a touchdown pass to Godwin.
Yeah.
And I looked at Jack and I said, there's something going on here. I think they've got something here. And then when Brown, it's a punt return. They don't have a punt block on. It's a punt return. Cam Brown got a piece of the ball. Cam Johnston is a heck of a punter now in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles don't think so. They shelved him. But, I mean, a heck of a punter in the NFL. Got a piece of the ball. That's they got a field goal out of it. And, of course, we all know what the block kick. When Marcus Allen blocked the kick and Grant Haley picked it up and scored, that was the first time in 4 years where instead of the us against the world anger that was in the cheer, that was the first time in 4 years I saw a release of joy in the stadium. Like there was joy in the stadium.
Most players fed off it too. You go back to when Penn State takes the lead in that game. I remember the final drive. J.T. Barrett doesn't get the ball off on 3rd and 4th down. He sacked both plays. That crowd just that defense fed off that crowd. That was incredible.
Evan Schwan, Garrett Sickles, Jason Kabinda, right? But there was joy.
Absolutely.
Okay? Because it was always like, even when they beat like Michigan in 4 overtimes, yeah. Now it was
big
like, okay. And he's embraced all of these traditions. You know, the blue buses, the Penn State, right, quarterback club, the victory bell, everything that goes with it. He embraced all because he took the time to try and learn what they meant around here. Now, he will sit forever in the number 2 spot all time in victories here.
He's not getting. He's over 100, but he's not getting. No.
He's tied with Rip at 104.
104 with Rip. Yep,
you're right.
Can pass him this week.
Right.
Yep.
But
he'll stay at number 2. Yeah, he's not getting to number 1.
It's that's a long road.
Ever's a long time, but I don't think in my lifetime I will see another coach at one school win 409 games. I don't think so.
I said that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Joe won his 400th.
Yeah.
And people, as you know, I'm in the moment. I don't ever think about what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
When they threw him up on the shoulders, I said, "You'll never see this again. One man, one school, 400 wins."
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think you will either.
But he's won 104 games in now 11 1/3 seasons, which is remarkable. They've won 37 games in 3 1/3 because they've played 1/3 of the season so far, right? Actually, 3 1/4, I guess, right? 3 1/4.
Yeah.
So 3 1/4 so far. They've won 37 games, 34 the last 3 years, 3 this year. But he's embraced all of this, and he's also put his stamp with his own culture there. But he's embraced former Penn Staters that have come in. Trace McSorley's a part of the staff. Alan Zamitis is a part of the recruiting staff. Chris Mann did not play at Penn State, but he's a Penn State graduate on that recruiting staff. You've got Jordan Hill here. Stefan Wisniewski is a part of this. I can go through the long list. Terry Smith has been a stalwart here.
Mm-hmm.
A stalwart.
Yep. Deion Barnes,
Deion Barnes, great tape. Jevin Stone told me this, Jeff. He was just going through James' first team meeting. He's now the head coach. He introduces himself, tells everybody a little bit about himself. He says, I'd like to, he said, obviously it's going to be a process, but I want to hear from you. What's your name? What's your hometown? What's your position? First guy. Deion Barnes. Defensive end, Philly. He's the first guy. And now he's the defensive line.
Now he's the defensive line, yeah.
And the guy working with him is Greg Gattuso. Another Nittany line. You see, he's embraced the former Penn Staters. For many years, Alan Zamitis played for Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Zamitis is critical on this recruiting staff. Throws his heart and soul into it. Because when you come in from the outside and take the job, you are selling
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. What your vision is. Okay. When you're a graduate at your alma mater, you're sharing it. What your experience was, what it means to you, what it currently means to you. And they have the ability to do that. So he's embraced all of this. And it's difficult today to get to 12 years in college coaching at any one place. It's very difficult. Mike Gundy made it 21, and that was it. So it's not easy today to get past 5 or 6, and in some cases 3.
3, yeah. Usually the window, 3 to 4 years.
Right. He's here in year 12. You have a huge responsibility financially to pack that stadium in an era where stadiums are new stadiums when they're built, when they're built are being downsized.
Absolutely.
Pro level. So we'll take pros for a moment. Washington. When they built that stadium in Landover, that's a 90,000 seat stadium. Now they have tarped areas on top.
Mm-hmm.
The new place on the spot of old RFK Stadium is going to be 65,000. Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo's
that stadium,
great example.
That stadium was 80,000 when they built it. It was originally called Rich Stadium.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, now Terry's building the new one with some New York State money. And it's 65,000 seats. Northwestern.
Yeah.
Northwestern had a 47,000 seat stadium. Okay, Ryan Field. The new stadium, which should be ready for next season, and Penn State plays out there next year, should be ready for next season. I believe it's going to be 35,000.
Yeah.
35,000. So you have people downsizing. You go to the Coliseum, which seats 92,000. Nope. They've got temporary bleachers in the end zone, a whole setup there, and the stuff by the Cauldron, by the Olympic Flame, is all tarped off. When Penn State goes to the Rose Bowl next week, there'll be areas of that'll be tarped off. Yet here, you have 106,000 seats. I mean, you have 248 fewer than you had before. They'll probably have about 111,000 in the stadium. They sold tickets for 109,000 for Villanova. Okay, that was tickets sold. I understand that, but still, it was a pretty big crowd.
Yeah.
Now I can't see what's behind me.
Right.
Brian can see that because Brian's on the Penn State sideline. That's one thing that's different now. Everything used to be in front of me.
Yep.
This is the first time I've done games at Beaver Stadium where I actually have three whole sections behind me. I mean, so I was like, oh, okay. And I can't look up and see it from where we are because it's like up. Like when I mean it's behind us, it's also up.
Upward. Yep.
Right? So I can't tell how filled it is or whatever it happens to be. But in this era where people are downsizing stadiums, this guy has done such a great job with the program that you have people who want to be a part of it and be in that stadium for games and make a difference. Believe me, the crowd tomorrow night is going to make a tremendous difference.
Yes.
And you can't put a price on that. Now, other places, look, Michigan sells out. Ohio State sells out. Texas sells out. Alabama sells out. Tennessee now is selling out. So I'll get Tennessee in a moment. But Alabama, Texas, Ohio State, Michigan all have something in common with Penn State. All of those stadiums are also over 100,000. Okay? The NFL doesn't get those kind of crowds.
No.
And Tennessee, though, is an example of if you have a fall off, if you're not consistently keeping yourself in the mix, they lost. I think 1 year they averaged, which, look, they have a decline to 88,000. 88,000 is pretty darn impressive, but it also tells you that there are 12 to 13,000 empty seats on average in the stadium when they didn't think Tennessee was playing well.
Right.
Now they're back to playing well, despite the game they lose out Georgia. Yeah,
yep.
lost to Georgia.
Overtime. Yep.
Right, in overtime. So they're selling out again. It's to keep the program at that kind of level and to keep the program at that kind of enthusiasm is really impressive. And you have to embrace everything about it while putting your own touch on it. And James has put his own touch on it, but he's embraced a lot of traditions here at Penn State that he has incorporated as being important. The blue band's important. The cheerleaders are important. Everything, right? The new drum major was there the other day at Penn State Quarterback Club, and Ellie's a wonderful example for everybody out there. He handles herself extremely well, does a great job. But he's embraced all that. And when you come in new, you have to sit back and say, okay, how does all this tick while recruiting, taking care of the current team, right? I mean, sure. Everything else that goes with it, but you're also trying to make sure, okay, what makes the fan base tick? What's important to them? Now, winning's important to them.
Of course.
Right? In fact, I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, God, Jason, he's a real winner. I took that as a compliment.
I do too, absolutely.
Right. But you have to do all that. Now, in this 12th year, people don't think about this, but it's not as if I haven't been there for all the years either.
Sure.
So I've seen it play out.
Yeah.
I've seen it play out.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I think where, all due respect to Bill O'Brien, look, he kept this program together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I kept the program together. It's not where it is without him. But I think, to me, when you coach at the NFL level for a lengthy time, I think sometimes you're not overly familiar with the college surrounding and what it takes in terms of coaching at that university. I think for Bill O'Brien, I don't know if he understood, and I'll use the cliche, the Penn State way. I don't know if he fully understood that entirely. And look, that doesn't take away what he was as a coach, doesn't take away that 2012 team, one of the most memorable teams I'll see in my lifetime at Penn State. But I think that's the one thing James does, and you just talked about it in depth there with a lot of things, that he understands the things that Joe Paterno understood the fundraising part of it, which is huge, and understands a lot of those things that don't involve playing on Saturday, that keep this university and this team going in so many ways. Bill O'Brien, I wanted to coach football, I think, more than anything. And look, everybody does. And everybody does.
Oh,
but
you don't think the practice field is a sanctuary for James Franklin?
Of course.
The practice field is a sanctuary.
For everybody. For everybody. Absolutely. And look, if they had their way, they'd want to do that. But I think it does come down to understanding a lot of the things that aren't on that field. And for Bill O'Brien, I think when you coach at the pro level, it's different in a lot of ways. And that's ultimately his goal. I don't think James' goal is that. So I think when you look at what he did here, the importance to what Bill O'Brien was to this football program, extremely important. Extremely.
Yes.
But I think the understanding of what's around off the field is better in James Franklin's hands.
Well, James Franklin, look, I'm going to tell you right now, early in his, okay, it's not as if pro jobs have not approached him.
Sure. Oh, absolutely.
I'm not remotely going to tell you who.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
It's not like he hasn't.
No.
But he stayed here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Something that is really important to him that never gets talked about is loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that is incredibly important to him because, look, like in any job, there'll be ups, couple little slides.
Sure.
Ups.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right.
You'll be popular one day, you'll be unpopular the next.
And if you have people around you that believe in you and you believe in them, you'll get through it. Right? Loyalty means a lot. And loyalty means a lot to James. For Joe, loyalty meant a tremendous amount. James is the same way. Loyalty means a tremendous amount to him. So, so now we get to this point. There's all the talk about being good to very good to great.
Sure.
And, of course, that last step, which is the most difficult one, to elite.
Elite.
Except my issue is when the detractors have a nasty habit of always moving the bar. Well, you got to make the playoff. You got to make the playoff. I mean, he's saying, I didn't make the playoff. Makes the playoff. Well, you got to win a game. Wins a game. Wins 2. Now it was only SMU and Boise State. See, the bar moves. See, the bar moves. Right? Those are the people I don't take seriously. If you're going to move the bar, if you're going to tell me what the bar is, and then they achieve it, don't move the bar. Now, do you think James wants to win a national championship? Darn right he does. Just like you, who are moving the bar, want to win a national championship too. But the problem is with the people who move the bar, say you win the national championship, well, you probably should win too.
Yeah, I think that's...
Because, see, the bar moves.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
You've got to beat Michigan. He beat Michigan 3 out of 4 years. Now, when did they stop beating Michigan? When the shenanigans started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When the shenanigans started in 2021.
Absolutely.
2021, the shenanigans started. It's all documented. It's right there. Oh, that doesn't mean anything. Do you know football? Do you have any idea how it works? No? Really? I always love when I hear it doesn't mean anything. You can steal signs the entire game. You're allowed to. Which means you probably have a decent handle the last 3 quarters.
Sure.
Well, what quarter don't you have a handle on it?
Mm-hmm.
Because you just started.
Yeah.
It's the first quarter.
First quarter.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was Michigan's MO?
Yeah.
Get to the lead, run the ball.
Start
Get to the
run
lead,
the ball.
run the ball.
Absolutely.
Okay. When do you get to the lead? When you had all the signs to start the game. Do you know football at all? Do you have any idea how it works? Because once you get to the last 3 quarters, I think everybody has a pretty good, because you're allowed to. And you'd be dumb not to be looking down.
Looking over and understanding. Yeah.
But look at all the games Michigan took the lead in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And then winning games. Because then they were able to play to their formula. When does Michigan come from? In Harbaugh's last 3 years, when were they coming from behind?
Never had to.
No.
Yeah, especially our national title year.
Yeah, they weren't coming from behind. No. Okay. The one time they got into trouble with it was when TCU was tipped off about it, changed every sign they had, and got out to the lead, and Michigan tried to play catch-up, couldn't catch up to them. They fouled them all up because they had a month to do it. See, the difference is they had a month.
They had a month. Yeah,
they had a month.
Big difference. Absolutely.
Right? But James beat Michigan 3 out of 4 years. Got to beat Michigan. All right, well, he beat him 3 out of 4 years. Really? Beat him in 17, 18, and 20. Interesting.
Yep.
Or no, it was 17, 19, and 20. 17, 19, and 20.
Yep.
17, 19, and 20. Beat him 3 out of 4 years. Nope, not good enough. Okay. And we all know about the Ohio State thing.
Sure.
All the close games, and Ohio State's managed to win all those close games, to their credit, except for the 1 in 16. All right, and that's credit where credit's due.
Right.
It's not as if James they didn't take him to double overtime in his second year. It's not that great comeback by Ohio State in 17.
Yeah,
I mean, that was
absolutely
big. Right. Had a chance, obviously, with Trace and those guys to win it, and there was the 4th down play. Okay, there's a lot of, but they're all like drama to the last second games.
Yeah.
But they're always moving the bar on the guy. Okay, and I understand that in this conference that you've got to beat Michigan, you've got to beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
Look, over here in the back, not the first rodeo.
Right.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, I've done all these games.
Yeah.
So I understand that, and this is another in a long line, because because James has put the program in a position. Penn State plays a lot of big games.
Yeah.
Right? You got to win a conference championship. Well, he's done that, and he's been to 2 championship games. Boy, I'll tell you, last I checked, winning the Rose Bowl is a big deal. Won that. It was won 2 Fiesta Bowls, won a Cotton Bowl. Right? It's not as if he hasn't won big games. I mean, I just sit back and go,
yeah. Well, the world of sports is going to be that way. I mean, you're going to move the bar on everybody, and that's how it works. And I think it's a lot of it is where, and this is not a lot of the fan base. I think it's part of the fan base. I think sometimes you take winning for granted in a lot of ways. Gino Auriemma was one to make this point where when you lose a game, it's never good to lose, but you look and say, hey, this is proof right here to just how difficult it is to win. And that's, I think, the one thing that some fans, and some being the key word, I think the majority of them, that's not the case. But for some, I don't think I think it's hard to understand sometimes how difficult it is to win. And that drives you nuts when you talk at the pro level. Well, this guy's only won 1 Super Bowl. One more Super Bowl than a lot of other people have. It is not easy to win one of those.
Well, yeah, I've made that point a lot, Jason. I always hate the only.
Yeah, only. Yeah.
Well, Mike Tomlin's only won 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah. It's not easy.
Mario Andretti's only won 1 Indianapolis.
Dale Earnhardt only won 1 Daytona 500.
Right? It's like, do you know how hard it is to win 1?
Mm-hmm.
1.
Yeah.
He's only won 1 major.
Charles Barkley would love to have that 1 NBA trophy championship.
He's got a couple Olympic gold medals.
He does. He does. He's okay.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
Yeah, he's doing all right. But he'd love to have that championship. Dan Marino would love to have that Super Bowl.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's very hard.
That's why it's so gratifying to win, because it's so difficult to do. And it's just, we've lost a semblance of perspective on how hard it is. I mean, John Madden was hailed as a great broadcaster and a great coach.
Mm-hmm. Win percentage for the longest time was the highest win percentage.
Super Bowl wins.
Yeah.
1.
Yep.
Right. That was all it took to cement him. So I'll give you 2 pro examples. John Madden, and I'm going to do this because I lived during this. I can say it. John Madden and Tom Landry of the Cowboys were both told repeatedly in their careers that, quote, they could not win the big one. Tom Landry's biggest problem was Green Bay in the 60s. They play in the Cotton Bowl in the 66 championship game. They're down by 7. Don Meredith rolls to his right. Penn State's Dave Robinson belts him as he throws it. Tom Brown picks it off in the back of the end zone. Dallas doesn't win. Well, okay, people excuse that because that was the Cowboys' first foray to a championship game after being an expansion team starting in 1960. I mean, to get to 565, 7-7 was a big deal in Dallas. So then the next year they go out, and it's the Ice Bowl. It's 15 below zero. The wind chill's 47 below zero. They got them. Even though they fall behind 14-0, they show some guts. They come back. They run a halfback option play. Dan Reeves throws a touchdown pass to Lance Rensel. They're winning the game 17-14. And the Packers have done nothing offensively. The field is frozen.
Yeah.
And start, dink and dunk. A little bit to Donnie Anderson, a little bit to Chuck Mercine, right? Works their way down the field. And so Lombardi Lombardi can kick a field goal here and go to overtime. But nobody can feel their toes.
Right.
Okay. So he says, go. And the great quote he had with Bart Starr was, Starr went over, he says, well, I think, he says, that if we run the quarterback sneak over the right side behind Kramer, so I think he can get under Jethro Pugh. And Lombardi says, well, just run the damn thing and let's get the hell out of here. That's what he said to him. That's what he said to him. I mean, when Starr gives the quote, you're like, he's laughing. He says, that's literally what he said. And Starr did not tell the guys in the huddle he was running it.
Nice.
That's why when you see Mercine going up like this, he thinks he thought he was going to get the ball, and he's like, oh, what do I do now? Right? But Landry didn't win.
Right.
And then in 68 and 69, they get their first-round eliminations, and Meredith retires. And then he has to make that awkward, like Craig Morton, Roger Staubach, Morton, the whole thing. Finally, they beat Miami.
Yep.
24-3 down in New Orleans. Okay. Suddenly, Tom Landry was the guy that could now win the big one. Then they beat Denver in Super Bowl 12, so he ended up with 2. But Tom Landry, the label was could not win the big one.
Sure. Tom Osborne, same thing.
Okay. But what was John Madden's problem?
Yeah.
Steelers.
Yep.
Okay. Steelers. Couldn't get past Pittsburgh. He couldn't get to the Super Bowl.
Right.
I mean, he only coached in a Super Bowl. He coached in a Super Bowl because they couldn't get past Pittsburgh. And they were great games. They were great games. And you couldn't get past them. All right? Like, ugh. They finally get past them because Franco Harris and Rocky Bleier got hurt in the Baltimore Colts game, in the playoff game. They both got hurt. They couldn't play. Got past them. Then they beat the Vikings 32-14. Okay? Couldn't win the big one. Well, he gets to the big one. It was in the Rose Bowl, and they win the big one. And that's it. I'm done. Right? So you have history teaches you, right, that there are also other people that you wouldn't think of as being labeled unable to win the big one.
Sure.
Right? And guess what? Eventually won the big one. Now, Marty Schottenheimer's a guy who was a terrific coach and didn't quite get there. Okay. But it's amazing. People enjoy putting labels on people. I mean, you're labeled a genius, for example.
That's right.
Right? Self-proclaimed. But
that's
still.
Okay. That's okay.
But
it still has the title.
I got to give your PR staff credit.
That still has the title.
No, you walk through the hallway, there was the genius.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Right? And I get a lot of this, like, he's a genius.
Poem in my hand as I go by.
Right. But, I think people enjoy labeling people.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about a small segment of the. I'm talking about, it's not a big segment. It's a small segment of the population.
But there's no doubt about it.
They love to label people. Right? As to what they are. Can't win the big one. Doesn't perform well in the big games. No. Right? Now these are all people that I openly ask, like, what pressure situations have you been in? I don't know. You may have been in tremendous ones for all I know. I have no idea. But, and so you get labeled. Okay. And coaching is one of those, and sports is something where you get labeled as something.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's amazing to see. And again, that's the bar moving. Okay, so back to the bar now. John Madden only won one Super Bowl. Okay. Aaron Rodgers only won one Super Bowl.
Only been to one.
Right. Only one. Okay. Mario Andretti only won one Indianapolis 500. Okay. Sergio Garcia only won one major, the Masters.
Yep.
Okay. It's like Phil Mickelson can't win a major.
Mm-hmm.
Then he wins 6.
Yeah.
Can't win a major.
Right.
No. He didn't help that Tiger Woods was in the way.
No.
But can't win one.
Nope.
Okay.
Dale Earnhardt couldn't win Daytona.
Can't win Daytona.
Couldn't win Daytona 500.
Wins. Right. But only has won one.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the bar moves. And we are in an industry, in a talk show world right now, this being a podcast, which, let's be honest, you excel. And, right, but we're in a world right now when somebody wins a title,
sure,
Well, they need to win another one. They need to win another one to cement their legacy.
Absolutely. The word legacy.
Cement their legacy.
The word legacy for me is used too often, period, in sports.
Oh, because nobody knows what it means.
Nobody knows what it means, and the big part of it, just way, way, way too much. And that's the world we're in right now. I get it. That's literally in the world of hot takes. That's the world we're in. But that word to me is probably one of the most overused words in sports. Is legacy.
Right. LeBron's only won 4. Jordan's won 6. Fine.
Okay.
He's got 4 titles.
It's been there plenty of times.
Okay. But I'm saying. Right? Okay. I thought you told me only winning 1 is not great.
Yeah.
You've only won 1. He was 4. No.
Yeah.
Now this is coming into the debate of who's the best NBA player ever.
They don't even play the same position. That's what I think. As always,
and neither did Bill Russell.
Neither did Russell and Jordan, and Chamberlain and Jordan, and Kareem and Jordan, Magic and LeBron is to me that comparison that
I tell everybody I group them.
They play in different eras, and Michael Jordan has made that point many times. They played in different eras. He'd never make the determination.
You can't. I mean, but. Well, he's only won 4. Okay, it's hard to win 1.
He's won 4. He's won how many gold medals? He's won how many MVPs?
Yeah. He's played for his country. How many times?
Yeah. He's showed now in a world where, and right now you're seeing it with the relationship with J.J. Redick. Yeah. Is he coachable? And I think that answer was yes during the Olympic Games with Coach K. There's no question he was.
We're just in a really different time as to how people view things. I think there are some out there who cover it that do have great perspective. Uh-huh. There's some out there who cover it who have a cynical view. Uh-huh. There's some out there that cover it and don't know enough about it.
Right.
I mean, like I said, there's a whole segment out there that does a great job, great perspective. They know about it, so forth. But there's also some that have a cynical view. I said some. There's some that don't know about it and just talk about it, write about it, whatever. But, like, no offense, may not know really what they're talking about.
Right.
But I said some. Did I say everybody?
No.
I said the vast majority are really good.
The majority is good. Sure.
Right? Vast majority is really good. But there's some that are cynical. There's some that don't know enough. Right? And there's some that just take the enjoyment of doing the hot take thing and just, using somebody else's name to get you to click on the article and then backhand somebody. Okay. Right? Then there's the gambling aspect. The gambling aspect has brought with it more anger because you're losing your money. Obviously, you didn't have a great night at the tables based on that shirt.
Tell you what, I ever gambled more than a scratch off, I would be in a world of trouble.
As everybody knows, I don't. I've never had an interest in it.
I never did either.
You have never had an interest in it, neither have I. I mean, everybody has their own interest. I just don't have.
No, when Powerball hits $2 billion, everybody's got an interest, of course. But
that's in terms of $2
exactly,
ticket.
That's buying a $3 ticket. We're not putting a wager of a mortgage payment on a game, which I've never
on
done.
A prop bet.
Exactly.
Is he going to throw for $250? Yeah. Is he going to throw for $300? Is he going to run for $100? It's like.
Right.
And all of a sudden he gets to 98 and they take him out.
That's not the worst thing to the people that do it. All power to you. That's not me knocking you by any means.
It creates anger.
It does. Sure.
Right. Okay.
Creates anger and emotion towards absolutely.
The Philadelphia Rams game is a perfect example.
Sure.
Last kick of the game. Here are the gambling results. Right? He makes the kick. Right? Say you had the Rams. Okay? You took the points. Right? He makes the kick, they win outright. You win.
Right.
Kick goes wide right. The Rams lose, but you win.
Sure. Absolutely.
Kick goes wide left. Right? Rams lose, but you win. Philadelphia blocks the kick, and they just, fall on it, whatever. Okay?
Yeah.
Eagles win, but you win.
Sure.
Block, kick, run back for a touchdown. Eagles win, you lose. Okay, where was that on the bingo card?
Right.
Okay,
right.
That's gambling.
Yeah, certainly.
That's gambling. And there are a lot of angry people.
Yeah.
At every step Jordan Davis took last week.
No doubt about it.
So,
just real quickly, two people have thoughts on Alabama this year. Well, I think you learn a lot tomorrow. I think you learn a lot against Georgia.
Alabama needs to run the ball better.
I think they got to run the ball better. I think quarterback play has been sensational. Simpson's been incredible.
Simpson has played very well.
Yep.
And so let's give credit where credit's due. But they have not run the ball well.
Right.
And that's an area where they're going to have to be better.
Yes.
Especially in a game like this against Georgia. What's interesting is, this is the SEC. How many years has it been since Alabama played in Athens? 10.
10. It's been a while.
Years.
Yeah.
This is the SEC.
Yep.
They do the sneakiest things. Right? Where they make you think, and all of a sudden you find out, it's been 10 stinking years since they played at Athens.
Yeah.
Okay? The Georgia team is one. What's interesting about this is that we're at a point where both Georgia and Alabama can be had.
I agree.
Okay, both
Absolutely.
of them can be.
Yeah.
Right? The question is, only one of them is going to be had tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think with the game in Athens, this is a big one for Alabama to prove to everybody that the Florida State thing was an opening game aberration where they're still breaking in new personnel. But if they don't run the ball better, which means they've got to eat the clock, okay, that's what LSU needs to do against Ole Miss. LSU's big problem is
the next question was Ole Miss. Yeah.
Okay, their biggest problem is LSU has not run the ball well.
No, they've not started well, and part of that is not running the ball well.
Garrett Nussmeier has had a minor injury,
right?
That he's been fighting through, and because they haven't run the ball well, it hasn't been enough to take the pressure off Nussmeier. To the credit of LSU, they played great defense.
Yeah.
Ole Miss can score.
Yeah, and they've played.
But Ole Miss has not been able to stop anybody.
No,
they came up with a big play against Arkansas late.
Yep.
But again, they've been giving up a lot of points at Ole Miss.
Yeah, 35 to Arkansas.
Right?
23 to Kentucky. Won that game on the road, which was a good win.
But 23 to Kentucky.
Yeah.
Kentucky offensively is a struggle.
Yeah, sure.
They struggle out. Kentucky usually plays good defense. Offensively, they don't. Again, it comes down. Those are two teams, Alabama and LSU. They both need to run the ball better.
I agree.
Right? And both those teams are playing on the road. When you're on the road, if you play well defensively and you can run the ball, which then brings with it the play-action pass game, now you put yourself in a position to win. And both LSU and Alabama need to run the ball better.
Agree.
Right? And that's where neither one has been able to check that box in the early part of the season to have a consistent running game. And because of that, it's bringing with it question marks about the offense.
Yep, I agree. Especially Alabama. I agree.
Yeah. And to LSU's credit, they have become a really good defensive team.
Yeah, they have.
I would like to point out, I don't know if that includes the Florida game because I have to give Florida plays excellent defense. They really do.
Yeah.
And all the troubles
their
they
offense
have,
is abysmal.
But offensively, oh my goodness. I mean, they are hard to watch.
Yeah.
There are a lot of defenses going, hey, we played great. Like, they're not that good.
No. Nope.
So, yeah. All right. Off to the next thing.
All right.
I mean, you've got a big game tonight.
Exactly.
CD
big
East
weekend.
West.
CD normal, so just CD. Central Dauphin Rams.
Yeah.
Yep. They've struggled a little bit last couple games here. Lost to Cumberland Valley.
Are you well liked down there?
I think so. I think McNamee knows me well enough. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Do you guys finally have a seat? Do you know where we're sitting?
We're literally in front of the press box.
So you're in front of the press box.
Yep.
Okay, so you're out there among the people.
I am going to be among the people.
See, but you are a man of the people.
That's right. That's right.
Right? Are you going to wear that shirt?
No.
You're going to wear no shirt?
Well, no, I hope not. I don't want to be Jason Kelsey at the game.
Right. SC, State College. Look at that guy in the stands. He painted his chest. Says SC for State College, right? That's one of their broadcasters.
One of their broadcasters.
Whoops. All right. Have a great week.